Greetings, fellow humans. I'm MartianBuu, and today's Pocket video is on Arbok Pidgeot. The idea behind this deck is to take advantage of the minimal energy acceleration and switching capability in Pokemon Pocket at present. Pidgeot's drive-off ability forces your opponent to send up a Pokemon that is presumably less equipped to deal damage in the active position, and Arbok's corner attack keeps it from retreating. Being able to use a Sabrina-like effect every turn without having to use your supporter can be very obnoxious for some decks to deal with. So even without Arbok, Pidgeot can be incredibly disruptive to your opponent's game plan. This is a pretty fun off-meta deck. I hope you enjoy the games, and thank you so much for watching. It looks like all these Pidgeotto, and Pidgeots are drawn by the same person, but also this is all of them showing up, right? So in this picture, the Pidgey is here and its friend other Pidgey is showing up. Then in the Pidgeotto picture, the Pidgeotto lands next to the two Pidgeys that were in the previous picture. And then in this final one, we have a Pidgeot landing in between them. And you can tell the Pidgeotto is getting pushed over. So like, that's a really cool sequence of pictures. The fact that they all go together, I really like that. The one thing is, they're supposed to be evolving, right? And these are clearly different birds. They're not the same thing that's evolving into a bigger one. They're just like extra ones arriving. Well, if they want to knock out that Ekans with a Charmander, I think that's perfectly fine. I accept it. We love the linking arts. Just calling in their older brothers. Right, like I like that aspect, but like my Pidgey just evolved into a Pidgeotto. That's like, if you look at the previous picture, they're not supposed to be the same bird that's evolving. They're supposed to be different birds arriving on the branch. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of that. I just like, it doesn't work for the evolving function of it. I do like the story being told in the artwork. I think that's fun. All right, well, it's time for this Pidgeotto to just kind of clear through everything, right? Like, look at this. Aw, we just lost our Ekans. You hate to see it. How much HP does Charmeleon have? 90? I guess we'll knock it out. It's the next year, now it has a family. The fact that these arts link too makes it all the more difficult to use the extended art Pidgeot, right? I haven't taken a close look at that yet. Maybe that one fits the art too, for all I know. Goodbye, opponent. Pidgeot is a surprisingly solid Pokemon, right? Like 2 of any energy for 70 and Sabrina as an ability. I wonder how underplayed this is. What else could you play this with? Not sure. Maybe that's the Brock's Onyx partner that I've been looking for. Overall, I felt like having the music playing in the background for YouTube was an improvement. But that first part during the mulligan, where the music is like burp, 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 is a little bit like loud and repetitive to me. So I guess I wish that wasn't quite that way. When you send me a phone screen footage, so it's fine for you. When you close it, like that is readable, right? Like if I pull up a Pokemon, you guys can see it. So I think it's overall okay. I think it looks better than Snap did. Snap, when you would just put that straight up on a screen, looked awful to me. You have to cut it up before it looks any good. All right, there's another Pidgey. Can we get an Ekans? I really should have done Oak and then... Like, when you want a specific Pokemon, it's better to Professor's Research first and then Pokeball, right? But... specific basic Pokemon. But it worked out. Are we attaching active? No. No, we're not. TCG Pocket for PC, that would be nice. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. 2 heads was not good. Arbok has 100 HP, so it might be a disaster for us, I guess. It might be a disaster for us. If they don't have a Giovanni, it'll be okay, but if they have a Giovanni, the Arbok's going down, and that'll be not great. Of course, we have 2 Giovanni. So if they don't have it and they don't have a potion, we could be alright. I feel like if you're gonna run the Misty deck with Greninja in it, I don't think you have room for Giovanni or potion. So I don't think there should be potion Giovanni, but you never know. Like, I think a lot of people maybe aren't optimizing decks, but also don't have enough cards to have a fully completed deck. So you never know if they're running like a 1-1-1 line just because that's all they have. Also, I think a lot of people haven't quite figured out that potion sucks, and the only reason it gets played is because you need 20 cards to queue. So I think some people aren't like happy to cut it as often as they should be. So anyways, all that is to say is because there's a Froakie, I think that there should never be a potion or a Giovanni, but that doesn't mean that there won't be. All right, we do get to knock out the Articuno, which is great, but we also don't have a good follow-up, right? Like, especially if they get to evolve the Froakie this coming turn. They're just geniuses and run high impact 1-ofs. Word. Where are my rare candies? I wonder if rare candy would be enough to make stage 2s good, because I think part of the problem is it's just really hard to find evolutions. I think rare candy would very disproportionately affect the win rate of specifically Gardevoir and Mewtwo. Because you don't want to attack with a Gardevoir, you just want to get it out early to start stacking energies. So I think getting to skip the Curlia would be a big high roll for that deck. Oh, thank goodness. That's... So they can only go to Frogadier, which is like... Frogadier is, I think, 1 for 30. So I think the worst they can do to me this turn is 30. Do you think they'd sooner make a stage 1/2 tutor or make rare candy? I think they'll make an evolution tutor first. I really hope it's Evo Soda. I think Evo Soda would be perfect for this. Like, the Evo Soda effect is choose one of your Pokemon and search your deck for a Pokemon that evolves from it and then evolve it. So you could have Evo Soda just do that. Like, you don't have to go in and pick. It would just evolve it. So I think that would work well. Not just to make it easier to evolve your Pokemon, but to also not have it just be another stupid Pokeball effect where you have to run it just because it makes your deck smaller. You know, it would only work if you first found the basic, and then you could evolve that thing easier. But it also doesn't turbo it out, right? Pokemon still has to have been out. It's not like, you know, Wally, where it would evolve it regardless. Yeah, so that's what I'd like. I think that'd be cool. Waiting for opponent to return. Did they leave? Did they leave? Did they know they were gonna get Pidgeotted? Did they know? Yeah, rare candy I think would just be like, you know, Mewtwo goes second. Well, they still wouldn't be able to. It would fix going first with Mewtwo, right? Because then you get out Mewtwo and you get out Ralts, and then on your next turn, you attach your first energy to the Mewtwo, rare candy into Gardevoir, skipping the Curliest step. And rare candy is an item in the main TCG that lets you skip the middle stage of a stage 2. So you get to go basic, rare candy, stage 2. When it was first introduced, you could do that right away, but it has been since errated to the you need to follow the normal Pokemon has to be out for a turn rule set. So like if you're playing Mewtwo Gardevoir, that means going first doesn't suck as much, because you can rare candy a Ralts and use the Gardevoir's ability coupled with the regular turn attachment to attack with Mewtwo right away on the first turn, and use the big attack, or like on your second turn, and use the big attack on your third turn, which is not possible as things are now. Then if you went second, rare candy doesn't influence it, right? Because you attach an energy, next turn you rare candy and you have 3 energies. Whereas if you've gone Curly a Gardevoir, you're still attacking on the third turn. So yeah, I do still think like that would make going first not bad for a Gardevoir Mewtwo, which I think is a big improvement. So I can see it very disproportionately affecting that deck. Whereas things that require a stage 2 attacker, like Charizard or Golem or Dragonite, they need to acquire energies over time. So making it faster to set up the big Pokemon isn't as useful as just more consistently finding it. So I think something like Evo Soda is more likely to help. Like, it would still help the Gardevoir Mewtwo deck, but rare candy speeds up the Gardevoir Mewtwo deck, and it doesn't speed up those other decks. Whereas Evo Soda would make them all more consistent, which is what they all value that. So I talking it through, I really hope they don't go with rare candy first. All right, my big plan. Should Giovanni, just because that way they can't potion their way out of getting knocked out by Arbok next turn. But then I could just Giovanni with the Arbok. But I couldn't Professor's Research into an Arbok. Anyways, it's probably gonna get knocked out by a Sandslash anyway. Rare Katie Beach will be fun. Yeah, that'd be kind of broken, huh? Isn't it 1 for 70? So much. Is that the Shrew Crew? It is the Shrew Crew, whatever that is. We're about to get riggedy stomped. I think this is over. I think this is over, chat. Our one hope is to top deck Pidgeotto here. Pidgeotto? That's not Pidgeotto. Alright. I'm gonna concede. So Blastoise EX I need the middle stages for Nidoran through Nido, King, Queen. And I need a full art Snorlax to complete the last of the, you see this little Mewtwo here, that little emblem thing? The last emblem points I need is only unlocked with a full art Snorlax for some reason. So the rest of the cards in that thing aren't full art, but need specifically a full art Snorlax. So most of what I need is in the Pikachu pack. I think Greninja is in the Charizard pack, and Machoke, Machop are in the Charizard pack. So I do need some Charizard pack stuff, but I think Pikachu pack unlocks most of what I need. Opponent's playing Moltres. I really wish the flare stuff didn't exist. Like, it's so stupid looking at those stars on the card. It's a, you know, I don't flare my own cards, so I don't have to look at that when I play my own, but I still have to look at the cards my opponent plays, right? So when my opponent's playing cards and they have the weird Pokeballs all over them and the stars on them, it just looks stupid to me. I wish it was just a little stamp. You know how paper TCG cards will have a little stamp on them sometimes when you got them from a special place? Like kind of in the, you know, like in the bottom right of the picture. I think that looks good. If the flare was that, I think it would be cool, but you know, like the shiny one looks okay, but the stars looks dumb to me and the Pokeballs look dumb to me. We're waiting for that opponent. Did they just give up? Didn't like their professor's research and now they're over it? What's up with that, chat? Which one of you did this? Wow, they're back after all these years. So I specifically wanted Pidgey, which is why I professor's researched before I played Pokeball. But I also wanted Arbok, so I don't know that that was the right call. Bite. It's not too scary because it's just Moltres, right? Am I excited for the Hearthstone expansion? I am. I am excited. I'm a little worried PvP stamina was leaked. I really hope it's not coming to all countries. What is PvP stamina? Does that mean you can only play so many ranked games? See, didn't that Pokeball look awful? I think if they made it so that you can only play a certain amount of PvP games in a day without paying, they would just kill their game. I think it's a really bad idea. You need to, like, people need to be able to play the game, or else. Like, how are you gonna get hooked if you can't play, right? It's just weird. I get, like, some games do that anyway, right? Where you can only do so many actions in a day without paying. Like, isn't that how Candy Crush works? So maybe they're just, like, really trying to go for the gotcha thing. Well, if we top deck an Arbok, we're in a good spot, I think. I guess even if not, depending, right? Because we can drive off Pidgeot. Oh. Now, I don't even have to unattach the energy from Ekans. That's pretty good. But I can drive off, hit one Charmander, and then drive off, hit the other Charmander. That's how most gotchas work, and those games are super lame. I mean, sure. It's. I'm not debating its lameness. I was debating whether or not something like that would kill the game instantly. Because my first impulse is like, how would you ever think that's a good idea? Doesn't that immediately kill the game? But it's like, nah. I think some models do get away with that. So it's hard to say for sure. It would be lame though. I'm not saying it wouldn't be lame for sure. Alright, so we took care of one Charmander here. I don't think, until I get Arbok, I don't think trying to trap Moltres does me much good. So if they draw Charmeleon here, I think we might be in trouble. Maybe not, I don't know. PvP stamina wasn't leaked? Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the leak. And this person isn't elaborating, so who knows? But it would be lame, I agree. Alright, opponent did get Charmeleon. So what I really want to do is I want to be able to lock Moltres. If we lock Moltres, we win, right? So can we get an Arbok one time? This time? Also, how many... We've seen both Potion. I think if we top deck Arbok, we win, right? Unlucky. I do think we need to save our... We do need to save our Pidgeot, obviously. We've seen 1x speed. I think we still need to hit Arbok like this next time, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, I don't know. There's a separate hourglass currency for PvP, PvE, and PvP to prevent compulsive playing. Interesting. Is that like something you have to do to be able to put the game in China? Because I think China limits how much you can play. I think there has to be some kind of thing. At least on games that are marketed to minors or something? I don't know. I'm not familiar enough. So I could see it being region locked is my point. But, alright, so that was the last X speed, but they already have an energy attached, so... We have to have Arbok this turn. If we don't have Arbok this turn, we're toast. Come on, Arbok. One time. Let's go. I have 7 cards left in deck. I've used only 1 research. Oh, thank goodness we win. It's over. Chat, we won. Are you excited? Ain't nothing they can do about it. Can't retreat because there's no switch in the game yet. On the one hand, I think switch would be a disaster for this game because I think having actually retreating mattering more than it does in the paper TCG is good. But on the other side of that, I feel like Pokemon with 2 and 3 retreat costs are getting absolutely obliterated. Like, it's too hard to build those decks because it's too easy to just Sabrina your opponent into an unwinnable position. So I guess like maybe what we'd want is if some kind of thing where Pokemon with 3 retreat costs to have 0 retreat this turn or something like that. You know, some kind of specific X speed just for them would help. In Pocket, you can now filter by tool and item card, so it'll be interesting how they're balanced. Word. I think Floatstone would be a cool way to add retreat costs to... Well, alright. If they add Floatstone, I really like X speed as a way to retreat things with low retreat cost. So if they just straight up added Floatstone, it would just kind of be a better X speed and be lame. But if they added some kind of like, what was it, like polished rock or whatever it was, that it was only good on, it gave free retreat cost to things that had like 4 retreat cost or something. You know, like that's what I want. Like I want items like that, where if you have like 3 or more retreat costs, then you know, you have free retreat. 3 days left for global release. You're hyped? Me too, me too. We'll find out how well the channel does. Right now, I think the channel's doing okay. I'm like relatively optimistic about how well the Pocket channel will do. once launch, but you know, if a couple weeks into global launch the channel is still at about as successful as it is, I'll probably not worry about it too much. But you know, I'm hopeful that once everyone can play the game, that all of the videos I posted so far will get a big boost of views. So fingers crossed. I'm powering up my Pidgey here because I don't have any Arboks, and I do have Pidgey and Pidgeotto. So that's my Marshy plan. 40 and 70 is enough to knock out a Weezing. Using the Giovanni now gives us the opportunity to play a top deck to like Professor's Research next turn. Is it still beta or global real release? I think it's just releasing. Like, I don't know that this is even beta. It was just like a soft open. Do you guys know my opponent is Team Rocket? This is actually kind of an iconic duel because Ash would always send out his Pidgeotto to get rid of the Weezing smokescreen. Should I use Drive Off to just like lose my advantage? Weird New Zealand time rift that allows him to play 1 month early. Yeah, pound it, Tooncar. Chat, I drink so much water in the morning, and so I need to pee a lot while I'm streaming, so I need to take lots of breaks for potties. My favorite part about making that statement mid-game is if this game ends up in the video, it's gonna be my video now. I do say these types of things in between games a lot, at time periods where I would be going to the restroom. But that doesn't normally end up in YouTube videos because I just, you know, I cut around it. I'm mentioning it mid-game because I need to go to the bathroom right now. I'm feeling it. Feeling the need. So, anyways, all that is to say, I'm off to the restroom. Do you think we'll get a bunch of new cards at global launch? I doubt it. Because, like, most people haven't played the game yet, right? So this is still plenty of stuff to play with and acquire for global launch. So I would say if we get a significant card release before 2 months have passed, I'll be surprised. We're going second, which is good for this setup and this hand that we have. They have a Meowth, which I think Meowth might be really underplayed, honestly, because like there's not a lot of draw in this game. I think adding one more draw supporter would be good for this game. Right now, I think having just Oak is a little yucky. But if they had just one more, I think that most decks would be more consistent, so most decks would be able to pull off what they... I don't know. Because if you add generic consistency to all decks, then the best decks are doing their best deck thing more often. I feel like some of the crappy decks require the best decks to have kind of a low roll in order for them to have a chance, so maybe it wouldn't affect anything. But anyways, I do like the idea of matches coming down to I didn't draw my thing less often. And see here, like, I've just run out of stuff, right? If I could be building a second Arbok while this one was doing its thing, it would be a lot easier for me to win from this spot. But because my deck has so few draw cards, I'm kind of limited to just what's happening right now. So you know, if they get through the Arbok, I'm kind of toast. I think if they send up Mewtwo, we win, and if they send up Gardevoir, we lose. But yeah, so the Mewtwo has absolutely no chance of getting through this Arbok, right? Of knocking out the Arbok next turn. It can deal 50, Giovanni can get that to 60. So it's probably going to get to attack again, and even if they go Potion, which is what they need for the Mewtwo to live through the Arbok, we knock it out with Pidgeot next turn because it still can't retreat. So, good spot, good spot. If they'd send up the Gardevoir, we were in trouble because we didn't get an Ekans, I think. I just spent 2 attacks knocking out the Gardevoir while they're powering up their Mewtwo's on the bench, and then they just kind of get to blow through me. Oh, they haven't realized they can't retreat yet. Either that or they have, and they're just accepting their loss. Yay! Well, you'll have to see it. I think another reason, like, if your deck is a dark deck, it has a pretty big advantage in the meta right now, because the Mewtwo deck is so consistent and strong that a lot of people are drawn to it. It's also a deck based around Mewtwo, right? It's like the only good thing you can build out of the Mewtwo pack as well. Anyways, it's a very popular deck. So if you're dealing dark damage, you're more likely to win. The way that the packs are working, it's kind of weird. It a little bit incentivizes you to delete friends, like, because the game incentivizes you to pick one specific pack to build a deck, right? Because a set isn't just all the packs in the set, it's divvied into specific things. So you're supposed to go hunting into a single pack to finish your deck. So when your friend is opening up a specific pack, they're probably going to keep opening that pack for a while. So if you have someone on your friends list that's opening up a pack, they're going to be one of your wonder slot options every time. So if I want Pikachu packs, right, which is what I want right now, and my friends are opening up Charizard packs, then I should remove them from my friends list so that they're not taking up a slot that could be somebody opening up a Pikachu pack, right? So I think it's a little awkward the way that the Wonder Trades are right now to always have your friend's pack on it. All right, well, GG, well played. That hasn't happened to me on stream yet. All right. Let's see it again. Let's get another Articuno. Oh, it's a snake off. Who's the snakiest? Pidgey, let's go! It's another snake. Wondering if I should just let my active snake get wrecked. I think maybe I should. X speed? Alright, well. We got a donk. It's not quite as funny of a donk, right? Because they had multiple turns to set something up. But you know, at least we got to do the thing too, kind of.